Welcome to the Value Proposition by the Fitness Business Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Pellegrino. The Value Proposition is a monthly show on the Fitness Business Podcast, created specifically for industry suppliers to showcase the value that they bring to health club owners and operators beyond their product or service. For our October 2022 show, we'll be speaking with Mary Milkie, Sales and Customer Success Leader at InTouch Technology. We'll dive deep into how InTouch's lead generation software helps you capture all leads, contact high priority leads, log into your business analytics from anywhere, keep track of staff performance, track sales targets monthly, and so much more. Mary, welcome to the Value Proposition.
Hi.
So
I am
happy
so
to
happy to be here. Thank
I
you.
know. So happy to have you
And we
on.
get to reconnect. It's been a while.
My old coworker from which years ago, right?
Years ago. I don't even know how many years ago now.
It's like we've just never worked separately, right?
Exactly. Pick up where
Awesome.
we left off.
Awesome. Well, give us an overview, Mayor, of what InTouch Technology offers the fitness industry.
So InTouch has been in the industry for about 16 years. So we're able to offer, we have a lot of experience behind us, but automated communication, which is so important right now to communicate with your members. There's not much phone calls anymore, right? So personal communication reminders. Fitness business is still very personal. So to reach out and stay connected. And newly developed front end built from years of client feedback. So we really incorporate our relationships with our clients and develop what we're going to do for development from there. And then we have our whole team is experienced fitness industry experts. And most of our team members have been with us for over 10 years. So it's really cool, really exciting to work with this team.
That makes such a difference, doesn't it?
Oh my gosh, it really does. They're so fun too, and they get my sense of humor, which, as you know, can be challenging. It's not for everybody.
I love that. Well, capturing new leads is on top of every fitness business owner's mind right now, right? Is that a fair
Yeah.
statement?
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
What, in your opinion, is the most effective way that you are seeing clients capture leads in today's market?
So, a big way that our clubs are capturing leads are through text messaging. So, when they reach back out, so text messaging is huge. Another way is through kiosks. So we have a kiosk option when people come in to visit and there's maybe not that person who can show them around. A kiosk is really a friendly way without interfering with somebody's personal space. People are liking to be able to do it on their own these days. So between text communication and kiosks when they go into the club is our number one way of our clients are capturing leads.
I love to hear that, Mary. That's really interesting.
Yeah. And our clients are on top of that because they're able to see what leads come in right from their dashboard. So they are on top of making sure that the kiosk leads that have come in and other leads as well, they are on top of making sure that their staff are getting back to them right away. And if there are any easier and better ways that they feel like they could do that, they reach out to us and we see if we can incorporate that for them as well.
That's really cool. And are you seeing referrals still being a really, really good lead generator currently?
I mean, it's always still a good lead generator, but not as much as we used to, because I just think that since COVID and clubs have opened up, I think people are going into the clubs without even being pushed to go, right? So I just think from what we're seeing, we're not seeing that referrals is a huge thing right now. And it may just be that people are not tagging it correctly either, but
Sure. Well, I
yeah.
love the kiosk option. So I think that's great. And
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
assuming that device is something that they can get right from InTouch, right?
Well, actually, if they have an iPad, if they have a computer, whatever it is, most of our clients use iPads, so it's really easy.
Easy
Yep.
peasy.
There's no expensive kiosk unit that you have to get, so tablet will work perfectly.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
What is the number one question that fitness staff members can be asking prospective members to ensure that their club is a good fit for their member?
I really feel like what their goals are, right? So to really connect, and we've been in sales a long time, Sarah. So we know that relationship is everything. So really finding out the personal story, or what the person wants their personal story to be. So I think goals, and InTouch actually has a process or a workflow for personal training, but also for non-personal training clients, of communication going forward. So, have you reached your goals that we talked about, or, you're well on your way, congratulations for your 10th check-in, whatever it is. So we have communication processes set up, and that can also be put in the club's own words. It can be, modified for what the club wants as well. So I really just think it's getting to know their member and what their goals are and what they're trying to achieve.
Well, and then you have a tool to ensure that what their goal is initially, that you're meeting that goal so that they're not canceling their membership in a few months, right?
Exactly, which is what we all strive for.
That's our goal.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Now, grand openings, special events, and community outreach, these are things that we saw be really prevalent before COVID. Then we kind of all took a break, and now it's getting back into it. And people coming into fitness that have not worked in the industry prior, right? They can always use some tips on how to rock these events. I feel like that's something that we're always kind of re-energizing. So these are great opportunities to sell memberships. So I'm very curious, is there any way that the InTouch team helps their customers maximize sales at these live events?
Oh my gosh, if I could go to every grand opening or party, I would, because that is so my jive. I love that. So if I could go to all our clients and help them with that, I would. I would love that. But on the InTouch tool side, we have tools, the communication tools, right? So such as email blasts, text blasts, phone scripts, and outbound calls. So we provide those things for people. As deep and diving down into the scripts, we can write those for people. They can write themselves, or we can write them for the clients. But Drive, so InTouch Drive is what we call it, is mobile. So they can add leads from tablets, phones, when they're outside of the club. And then text marketing numbers allow leads to send a text message to the club number, and it auto creates that lead in Drive. So there are some, whether it's at the club or off-site, InTouch Drive is accessible for you to be able to get leads and prospects into the system by various ways.
And then I'm assuming just having the kiosk option, period. If that's a tablet of sorts, you can be mobile with that at an event as long as you have the Wi-Fi up and running, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So one of my favorite questions anytime we're talking about lead generation tools, Mare, is which follow-up method out of calling, emailing, and texting are you seeing be the most effective today?
By far texting.
How did I know you're going to say that?
Because everyone's probably saying that, right?
Please don't call me. Text me.
And I love to talk to people on the phone, but we all have caller ID, and we all get scammed so much, and we all get those robocalls. And so, yeah, by far. And people are just overloaded with emails now. So text messaging, I don't know about you, but I look at my text messages no matter that. I may delete them pretty quickly, depending, but text messaging by far everybody looks at. So that's been really successful.
Well, if you have a random voicemail and a random text, to your point, you're probably at least going to glance at the text versus actually listening to a voicemail you don't know who the number's from.
Exactly. If you even get a voicemail, a lot of times you don't, right? So
is email the middle ground?
Email is the middle ground. And I'm trying to encourage, because I've been on roundtables lately for vendors, and it's really out there now with emails that have video. So I'm trying to encourage some clients at least to give that a try. I've heard it's been really successful. I have not tried it myself, but
you can try it out with the clips that you're going to get from the value proposition.
Exactly. That's what I'm figuring. That's a perfect start.
That's awesome. Oh, goodness. Okay, so we've touched on kiosk as a way to get leads in the club. I want to switch gears a little bit because I know you'll have some good insights here. You and I used to play in this lane. So online memberships. are we still seeing members actually join the club online as much as they used to? Or in a post-COVID world, are members wanting to come into the club and see it first before purchasing?
I would say it's pretty even. I couldn't really dig in enough to see what percentage it's at, but I would say it's pretty even. I would say that, I mean, we have so many online members that are joining, but there are many people like myself. I want to see what my options are. I want to know the feel of the club, and I think people are getting back to that. So I think it's pretty even right now, actually.
My opinion with that, because as I was drafting that question, I was like, I want to see how clean the club is. I want to see the spacing of things. I want to see if the staff is going to be friendly. And that just opens up a whole other can of worms with how well are you training your staff, right? To greet these new members that are coming in to see you. So, but you know what I'm talking about, that 2017, 2018 world, it was, can I join online? I don't want to come in.
Yeah, you know what? And I get it, but that's
Yeah.
never been me. I need to know that I feel good there.
Yeah.
And to be fair, when my kids were younger, they're in their mid to late 20s now, but when they were younger, they wanted to join just a cheap club. And I was like, no, I'd rather pay more for people that are going to say hello to you and say your name. And I just wanted to instill that that's what's right for people to do. So I'm not saying they're bad. Clubs, and I think that they've done a lot of great for the industry, but I also feel like I want to know that I'm appreciated there, I guess. And that the feel is good. I just want to know the feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's awesome. All right, Mary, let's dig into InTouch. What is y'all's strategic advantage over other lead generation systems in the fitness space currently?
well, a big one right now is our ability and willingness to integrate with any capable CMS. So we will integrate, and that's not always true. Not everybody has the capability to be able to do that or the willingness, and we are. So we are integrated with most CMSs out there. Again, our team members that have health club experience, which is really super cool. And all of our staff has been around for 10 plus years. I have a stand up with them every morning, and they're just really all about making it better and what the client needs and wants. They've really taken it personal, and they're product experts now. And not a lot of companies can say that. So I'm super proud.
I love to hear that for a few reasons, right? That they're taking the feedback from the client. That's so important. Some companies say they can do that and they can fix things and make it custom, and then they don't. But also that they're true industry folks, right? A lot of times you can bring in the tech kids, but they don't necessarily understand the industry. And they try to maybe overcomplicate it sometimes. It doesn't need to be.
Yes.
Or all the time. I don't know.
And you're in the background going,
whoa, yeah. You're out, yeah. Awesome. Well, that's really, really cool. And they get to work with you and your amazing team.
Yeah, exactly. I'm fun.
You and I both know how painful software conversions can be. And I'm talking about the club management software, the billing one. So I'm assuming that lead gen may not be as in-depth, but still definitely a project. So talk us through how the InTouch team supports their new customers with the conversion of their lead gen system.
Well, we've been doing it for so long now that thankfully we have it down to a science, and we have tools to make it really easy. And I was nervous about this, right, when I first came to InTouch, because coming from the club management side, as we all know, it takes like 90 days a lot of times to do it correctly or efficiently. Well, exactly. And then I was thinking, wow, this is going to be kind of cool because we don't have the sensitive information that, needing to come over the billing information. So I was nervous, but excited about it. So it's really, for me, thinking about that and being part of that, I'm like, this is so easy. I don't have to do it because they don't want me doing it, but it's so great. I mean, it can just take us, a couple of days and extract some files and send it over, and it's all done. It's really, I mean, we have the tools in place that it's so easy. So we can get the extract files from the others and just zip it right in. So yeah, it's really cool.
That's so great. So tell us a little bit about, so obviously if we're going to just walk our listeners through this journey that your prospective member is going to go through. They walk into the health club and they input their information on, let's say, a kiosk, for example's sake.
Mm-hmm.
That information goes where? What is the fitness business operator and or the sales staff seeing on the back end?
Yeah, so great question. So it depends on the integration with the club management system. So it can be a one-way or a two-way, but we're typically pushing information to the CMSs because it's not typically two-way, every 5 minutes or so. So they will see those leads come in on the back end. And that's when they choose, or it can be by person, or it can be by club, what the follow-up process is. So it can be that emails automatically go out right away, and then it's set up so that they go out automatically on a certain duration over however many days. Maybe it's 1, 3, 7, 10, whatever that is, days. Can be text messages. So it really depends on how the club wants to set it up, and we're able to help them set that up as well. So it's really the club or the sales team's options and what their decisions are of how they want to follow up. And within there, the team leaders or the managers can also see what the follow-up has been, what phone calls have been done. We're right now working on voice recordings, similar to what we used to work with, where the phone calls were recorded for, a certain amount of days. So we're actually trying to get that set up now. So yeah, it's a good management tool, but it's also just a great prospect tool to make sure that the team is set up for success along with the member.
I love that so much and you walked me right to this next question. And I think it's a really important one, right? Everyone thinks of the lead gen. We have to generate the lead. We have to get new people in the health club. Okay, then what, right? They've purchased, they've joined, and you need to keep them really happy and pleased throughout their member journey. And it's almost like once they're new and once they join, the work just starts. Like, congratulations, you got them in, but you still have a lot of work to do. So you touched a little bit on it, but the automation side. But if a health club owner has a really great sales team, I'm assuming they can manage that themselves. And like, walk us through a little bit more about what that looks like aside from the automated side.
Yeah, so the club or team members can set up sequences. So whether it's a new member sequence or a PT sequence, so we have that PT side as well. It's huge. So it can be more personal, and PT people are spending more money as well. So I think it's really important for the new member and the PT client, but really for success for the PT client as well, and feeling appreciated. So there's sequences that can be set up, whether it's automated or they go in and just do it manually every day. Okay, so now today is my 3-day phone call. So I'm going to go ahead and make that. I'm going to send a follow-up email. And, we have a scheduling unit, scheduling calendar as well. So everything can be put on there to make sure that it is on their calendar and they're reminded of what their next step is. So they'll get a layout of, what appointments or what phone calls or what emails they have to send if it's not automated. So it's really an all-in-one inclusive management system to set the sales team and the club up and the members, most importantly, for success.
Love that. Love the mention of the PT side when you're thinking of let's say $50 a month membership or $200+ a month personal training package.
Exactly.
That's awesome. That's really great.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite feature?
I have a favorite feature.
Let's really geek out over our software love.
I know. My favorite feature is just setting up. I love setting up sequences and getting things out automatically. And it used to feel to me like that it was maybe not as personal, but it actually is not. The more that I do it, and I love it, and I do it for other things as well, it's because I want to make sure that I have touch points with my clients or my members, that it is personal. I'm setting it up for them and I'm setting it out of what to do. And I want to make sure that they continue a success journey and they are really proud of themselves. And I think that's my favorite, is setting them up for success. We can do that through InTouch. We can set the members up. Well, we're not going to forget. So if we set it up and we make it happen for the next however many days or month or whatever, I think that's a great service to our members and to our club. So that's my favorite. It's just to make sure it's all set up, make sure our members are touched and that they know that we care about them. That's my favorite.
That's amazing. And think about how cool that is if you automate your sequences, right, for follow-up.
Exactly.
And then someone from the health club still calls to see how you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're covering all your bases there.
Yep. You can set up those phone calls at the same time too, of when you want to, what touch points you want. So I love that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Mary, do you have a favorite client testimonial that you have ever received with InTouch, or just a story that an owner shared with you about how much you really impacted their business?
Oh my gosh. Dana was just at a Fit Tech Summit. This was very new. This was just this week.
This was literally like yesterday.
This was literally like 2 days ago. And he's like, remind me he goes, somebody was gushing over you here at the Fit and InTouch at the Fit Summit. And I was like, wait, what? Who was that? He couldn't remember the name, of course, but I think he was on a round table or dinner. I don't remember, but she was like, they are like the nicest people that are willing to help all the time. And just, you reach out and kudos to Caitlin Tupper for this. She's our support person right now, moving into product. She just had her 10th anniversary, I think, back in the summer or maybe May. And she just knows the system inside and out and just really cares about the customers. But they were gushing over us about that. So Dana was, able to tell me that. And then I reached out to, actually, she reached out to me, the woman did, and she was like, oh my gosh, I met your husband. And I was like, nice. Thank you so much for the kudos. But that is like the highest. I mean, there's technology, right, and what we can do, but that our team members and they love our team members and that we're helpful and we care is the best testimonial I could ask for.
I love that. I love that. You're getting praise and you're not even in the room. Look at that.
Dana's probably like, oh, dear Lord.
I know. My wife is awesome.
You don't live with her.
Oh, that is so cool. That is awesome. All right. So 2 more questions.
Okay.
What is your health club operator? And if you're going through a problem, what is the biggest problem that you can solve for them? Is it lead gen? Is it automation? If they're having a problem, what problem is it that they're going to call you?
A big problem is that sales team members are not doing their follow-up. And we have seen that. I'm sure we've all been guilty of it at some point. But the biggest thing, like my team members just, they're not doing their follow-up. Mm-hmm. So I would say the biggest thing that we can help with that is setting up the automation for them so that it's less on the sales team member and setting them up for success with the least amount of daily work as possible. And also the management tools for the managers to be able to see and have a view of what the sales team members are doing and what their follow-up looks like to see if, they need some coaching or some guidance or training, or perhaps it's not for them or whatever. But it's really setting up it really is automation and helping the salesperson become successful, because that's the biggest challenge I think that clubs have with team members.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And it's always the technology's fault.
Yeah.
So
we're
trying to help them with that.
I love it. Awesome. And then what is one thing you would say to a health club operator that has yet to call you? They have your number, they're thinking about it, but they haven't dialed just yet. What would you say to them?
Gosh, just call and see. And we are restructuring and redesigning and doing a lot in development, but just call us and see what we have to offer, because things have changed. We just, we're the oldies, actually. It's weird because we were only like 16 years old, but we're the oldies with the goodies. And I just say, give us a chance and see what we have to offer. You won't be disappointed.
I put that as the company for you in my phone. The oldies with the goodies.
I take that personally.
Awesome. Mary, thank you so much for the insights that you shared on today's show. If our fitness business podcast family wants to reach out to you to learn more, where am I sending them? How about an email address maybe? Does that work?
Yeah, it's Mary at InTouchTechnology.com.
Perfect. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in today to the value proposition for staying in touch anytime, anywhere. Tune in Friday, November 18th for our next value proposition episode. And to show we walk the talk at the Fitness Business Podcast, all the resources and links for today's show can be found at fitnessbusinesspodcast.com, adding value to our FBP family. Until next month, what you leave behind is not what is engraved in stone monuments, but what is woven into the lives of others. See you next month, FBP family.